Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me again for another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today I will be talking about Season 4, Episode 17, Total Loss, starring Nancy Olson and Ralph Meeker. And for me, this episode, Total Loss, was kind of interesting. It turned out to be a pretty decent episode overall, but I do think it's kind of a tale of two episodes. The first half of this episode feels kind of like some kind of awkward 60s almost light romantic sitcom, which kind of works but kind of doesn't. And then when the episode gets more serious in the second half, I thought it worked quite a bit better. So at least it improved as it went, in my opinion. So this episode starts with Alfred Hitchcock in a steam cabinet, and that's all I'll say about that. So we start at a dress shop with our main character Jan, and she's with her friend Evie, I believe her name is, and we learn that sales aren't too great at the shop. Jan seems to think they're in some financial trouble because stuff just isn't selling like it used to. And this man named Mel comes by, and he definitely likes Jan, but Jan doesn't seem too interested in him, honestly. It turns out he sells things, but Jan is in no position to buy anything right now. So Mel keeps trying for a while. He keeps trying to, I guess you'd call it kind of flirting with Jan. He even asks her to lunch, but she says she can't really do that right now because she has to go to the bank to ask about her loan, things like that. So Jan does go to the bank in our next scene, and the man in charge at the bank tells her he can't do anything to help her with her loan right now. All he suggests is that she advertise more, but this didn't really make sense to me. How would she advertise more if she doesn't have money? But I guess you just have to kind of go with it. So at this point, Jan talks to Mel again, and he asks her for lunch again. But instead they go for a drink because Jan says she's too upset to eat anything. So that's fair enough. And I will say this guy Mel, he keeps trying. He's still kind of hitting on Jan a little bit. He also tells her he has a solution to her problem. He says, are you insured? And Jan says yes. And he says, what if there was some kind of fire at your shop? He says he knows someone who he just calls Al, nothing more. And he comes up with this whole plan. And the plan didn't sound very good to me to begin with. And at this point, of course, being Alfred Hitchcock Presents, I knew this wouldn't work out the way they planned it. So he tells Jan the rest of this plan. It sounds very shaky. She seems reluctant, but ultimately seems like she's going to go along with this. So she goes back to the shop and tells Evie, who's still there, and another lady who's her sister, who just kind of randomly appears in this episode for no reason at all. But it's fine, I guess. And she tells Evie it's important that the books are taken away because they need this as proof of what her inventory was so she can collect the insurance money. So Evie promises she won't forget, and Jan leaves. And when I see the books sitting there on the table, I'm thinking these books probably aren't going anywhere at this point. So at this point, we go to the next scene, and it's late at night, and Jan gets a call while she's in bed, finding out there's a fire in the shop. She does a pretty good job acting shocked about this. So Jan goes down to the shop at this time, and we get to actually see the fire. You gotta love those old 50s and 60s special effects, but it doesn't look too bad. So we find out as Jan's talking to the fire chief that something happened. There was someone inside when he's asking questions, and it was Evie. It turns out she got a call, and she had forgotten to take the books out of the shop, so she basically got burned, but she is alive at least, which was good. I was really shocked by this twist as I didn't see that part of it coming. So I guess the books did get out of there, but Evie got hurt. So now Jan's really upset about this, and she goes back the next day to check out what happened. She sees Mel there, who really shows no remorse at all. He's just worried about the money, confirming that he's kind of a slimy character. I guess slimy's a good word for it. So he leaves, and when Jan talks to the insurance company man, she tries to tell the truth about their plan and about how there was going to be a robbery, which started the fire. But the insurance man doesn't believe her because it turns out that the fire actually started by accident, by something that Jan did. She said it was the way she makes her tea. It was a little bit confusing, but again, I guess you just have to go with it. So it turns out that because Jan tried to tell the truth, it actually looked like she set the whole thing up, and it looks like she started the fire by herself. So I guess she's in big trouble. So, like I said, kind of a weird twist, but the episode did pick up. Once we got to the serious parts in the second half of the episode, I thought it was effective. But I thought, the beginning parts of the episode were a little awkward. But overall, I thought it was a satisfying episode, and I'm going to give Total Loss a 3 out of 5. It's a solid episode to watch probably once, and I recommend it. Thanks for watching.